Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this quick collection showcase video, this is a great idea from my subscribers. What I've got in front of me here is my collection of Optimus Prime cabs. Now I'm not going to say Generation 1, although it's the Generation 1 mould, purely because obviously we've got some later releases there. So a couple of quick things before I kick this thing off. Again, I just want to thank the subscribers whose idea this was. Second, to remind anybody who's not subscribed to the channel, if you'd like to hit that subscribe button for me now, please. And also to basically say that this isn't a definitive list. I'm sure there's perhaps other variations that I've not got here, and of course I haven't gone super deep cut. What I mean by that is all the different number stamps on the back of the head and on the trailers and all that sort of stuff. What I've basically got in front of me is all different variations of official figures. So these are all official Takara Hasbro releases from before 1984 because of the diaclone of the Optimus Prime cab. So the only reissue is the brand new one that is here, and as I say, all these have slight differences in the cabs, and I suppose this is just a video to make you aware of all them. As I've said, I'm sure it's not the only ones, and I haven't gone super deep cut with, you know, light blue parts on trailers, etc, etc, but this is purely just a bit for educational purposes and of course a bit of fun. Some of them haven't got their fists in because they're going to go back into cabs and back into boxes, in honesty, so I thought I'd just nip that in the bud before people started commenting as well. So this, I'm very lucky to say, is an original blue powered convoy diaclone figure. So of course this is where Optimus started off as, in this lovely blue color with the black legs, and yeah, this is a Takara original. So this is of course where he pretty much started with the die cast, etc. Lovely figure. I am still missing the blue e-hobby one. If anybody could help me with that, that would also be great. Right then, what we've got now is a 85 or 84 standard Hasbro, whichever, ceji, Takara, Optimus Prime. This is just exactly that, your nice and standard figure, nothing out of the ordinary with this. This is where it gets a bit crazy because you can already see the red feet. So this was actually, I'm going to shock a few people, especially some American viewers. This is a relatively common figure in the UK with the red feet, purely because again it was made by ceji, and ceji is in France, and they made the figures pretty much, yeah, for us in the UK. So the red feet, there was a ceji version and there was an MB version as well, which was released in mainland Europe with red feet as well. Right, then we move on to some real strange oddities. This is one of my Mexican variants. Now there's three versions to my knowledge of Mexican variants. The one is just a standard one with the normal yellow eyes. This is obviously a painted red eyes, but with dark red plastic, dark red die cast, and also dark blue seats. So again, slight variations in the colours because they just mix and matched loads of things. So the red on the cab die cast is much darker. There was red eyes, and the seats in the interior were a darker blue. The other Mexican I've got, as you can see, hopefully straight away, that the head is a much lighter colour. Again, it still had a darker red chest, but it had much lighter blue parts, which is quite a common thing that you saw in the trailers with the light blue parts. But with regards to the actual cab, this was something that was, yeah, quite rare, to be honest. So this is Mexican light blue parts rather than your standard dark blue. Right, moving on to the last of the Optimus Prime cabs. Yes, we've got some Ultra Magnus ones. Is this Takara Japanese exclusive? This is the Goodbye Convoy set. So you can probably tell, hopefully with that there, that the windows on here are a light blue color, whereas all the rest are like an orangey tinty, maybe even like a light brown. The Goodbye Convoy set was exclusive to Japan only. In the set, there's a video. In fact, there's videos on all of these which I'm mentioning if you want to see them in more detail on the channel. So that is your 1986 Takara Goodbye Convoy Optimus Prime figure. Right, now we move on to Ultra Magnuses. Of course, the white cabs. This is incredibly yellowed. I didn't realise it was anywhere near as bad as it was. And this, of course, is the painted face. Now, I think, again, please correct me if I'm wrong, guys, that the painted face version came out first. And there was differences in the cab. The fact that the painted face had the orange tinted windows, the rubber tyres, and the painted gas cans. Whereas the other white Magnus use for the cab came with no windows, plastic wheels, and white fuel tanks. Again, there's all these details in the Ultra Magnus videos on this channel as well. Right, that wraps up generation 1. And then we move on to generation 2. So this was the generation 2, which funnily enough had light blue metal in the legs, much lighter blue head. So it's pretty obviously different to the generation 1 cab. Now, admittedly, there's a huge black hole in my collection, but as I said at the beginning, that's because I didn't buy any of the reissues. Mainly, as I say, I didn't really need them, and because there weren't really any differences. So the next one would be, I've tried to get these in chronological order as well, by the way, guys. This is a jargon convoy. Convoy obviously was the name for Optimus Prime in Japan. This was from a convention, a Japanese Transformers convention, year 2000, I think. And again, it's just a black. There's been a few KOs of this I've seen surface on the internet as well. But this is what's known as jargon Prime. Exactly the same use of the Generation 1 mold, just all black. So rubber tires, chrome, everything's the same. It's just... And it's not Nemesis Prime, it is jargon Prime. But this could have been, and I think that there's some speculation that because of this particular mould or that use of the colour scheme, that could be the, I suppose, where the idea came from Nemesis Prime. Right, this guy definitely hasn't got his fists on because he's also part of the Shining Magnus figure. So he's obviously got another name, which I can't say because this is a kid's channel. So this attaches to the back of Shining Magnus, which is the translucent yellow Ultra Magnus figure, which is an eHobby exclusive from the early 2000s, where they've got like a gunmetalish grey rather than black legs. And of course, you can see a striking yellow paint and die-cast system there. Then we move on to some quite obscure, but again, really sort of, I've mentioned in lots of videos recently just how crazy, you know, the collaborations have been recently for the 40th anniversary, but they've always been doing it, especially in Japan. So this is the Bathing Ape Green Bape. This is, again, exactly the same Generation 1 Optimus Prime convoy mold. Rubber tires. It's just, so Bathing Ape is a clothing company, and they did a collaboration in Japan. They even did some masterpiece figures as well, to be fair, but this is a lovely looking green version. The green one came first, then they did a grey Bathing Apes. They did 3 Bathing Apes. They did green, they did grey, so you've got the grey and then a darker greyish black for the legs. Again, I love the fact we've got the gold smokestacks, gold fuel stacks, and gold legs. There is a gold Lucky Draw Optimus Prime. I'm obviously not anywhere near lucky enough to have that. So that came next. Then the final Bathing Ape, I think 2011, was the red one. So from the top half, apart from the head, obviously doesn't look too much different, but then he's got like maroon trousers on, which of course is quite different. The trailers as well are lovely. Again, check out the individual reviews on this channel because the inner stickers and everything on them are just fantastic. So yeah, there's your 3 Bathing Ape. And then, as I say, huge gap in my collection because I didn't get any of the reissues until this year. And unbelievably, already this year, I've got 4 along the back. So we've got Missing Link toy deco, and I don't really need to say much about that. So I suppose I've cheated in a way, guys, because this is obviously not the original Generation 1 cab. It is an updated version, but I think obviously you can see the message what I was trying to get across with these. It's just the standard looking cab, but of course it's got the extra articulation and a few of the extra parts. So that is the Missing Link toy. This shelf on the back is going to get much bigger over the next couple of years due to this. So this is Missing Link animated. There you can see that. Again, slight difference. I suppose what I'm sort of trying to say is, you know, all of the aesthetics really, apart from colours on these, are the same. So that, of course, is the animated, which is nowhere near as animated as the last one. Well, one of the last ones I'm going to show you. But that, again, is Missing Link animated version. We've now very recently got Sentinel Prime in the yellow, which is more of a mustardy yellow, but looks, or would it be classed as orange? Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Would you say it's orange, yellow, or mustard? It's definitely, I think, more mustardy colour. But there you go. Beautiful use of the colour scheme. Love the fact they painted the head as well, slightly different. And then I've got one more here, but then I've got a special mention for another one as well. This is the brand new one. This is the 40th anniversary. And this has reverted straight back to the original mould. No extra articulation. The fists actually you have to take off and pop on, etc. So nothing new, no missing link parts with this, just completely nice painted. Again, colours on it to match the Generation 1 animation in the original vintage form. And then this one's no different at all, but he definitely deserves a special mention because one of my subscribers found me, who I sold him to as a kid, and they returned him to me as well. Incredibly nice gesture, so I always like to highlight that. Huge thank you to Richard Roberts for doing that. This is my original one that I had as a kid, and it's still in pretty good nick. So there you go, guys. That is a quick rundown. As I said, there is more. There is many more reissues, and there's obviously many more KOs, but hopefully you found this interesting, and maybe it's giving you a bit of a spur on to find any more yourself. As I say, I definitely still need the blue e-hobby one. If anybody can point me in that direction, that would be great. In the meantime, as I say, if you want to check out any more of these in more detail, just type the names into the search bar and you'll find videos on them. Thank you as always for watching and your support. Take care, guys.